The Orange Bowl in the most we don't want to be here bowl. Georgia taking on Florida State. This is also on the 30th at 4 p.m. I mean, every interview that they've done, the coaches is just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. They both feel slighted.
This isn't bringing politics into the show, but the fact that the Georgia and Florida state legislators are like doing all this, like,
yeah, let it go. Dude.
Nobody. Florida State is losing more sympathy now.
Yeah,
like I get being pissed off at the beginning.
Right.
Like you were deserving. Clearly, you weren't chosen. You weren't chosen for a reason.
Yeah,
and people are just they are constantly going at Kirk Herbstreit. And I don't even, like, Kirk Herbstreit's not even on
he's not on
the committee.
I think he was the biggest voice in college football that defended the committee in making that decision.
Everybody defended the committee except the people that work on the ACC network.
I just think that with Herbstreit being like he is game day pretty much, he is like he calls the biggest game of the week every week. And, if he says it, pretty much people take more stock in what he says about college football.
Yeah.
So whenever he came out and he was like, look, I think the committee got it right, or Florida State can be pissed off, but whatever.
Yeah,
that's why they're pissed at him. But at the end of the day, they did get it right.
Like
you can make, if you're Georgia, I think that you could make more of an argument for Georgia being upset than Florida State.
Like that
in terms of who is playing the best football.
Yeah,
who is one of the best teams at this moment.
Yeah.
It isn't always what your record shows you.
This is what people wanted with the college football playoff committee. They wanted that human element because I can pretty much guarantee if it was still the BCS system, Florida State's getting in.
Yeah, if you're just running that algorithm
if they're
thing,
doing the 14 playoff, Florida State's going to be one of those teams.
Right.
But if you're not an ACC fan or a Florida State fan, you can look and say like, okay.
I'm pretty sure though that like the ACC has some of the most people within the committee.
Think 4.
Yeah, they have of any conference, they have the most people. I mean, they had the most voice within the committee from their conference, and couldn't get their team in.
Yeah,
it's because you couldn't make the case for it.
Like, and Kirk Herbstreit calls the Thursday night game on Amazon Prime, and everybody's talking like tagging them in tweets saying, "Oh, the Bengals shouldn't make the playoffs, or their win yesterday doesn't matter because they got a backup quarterback in." You can't compare what's going on with Florida State in college football compared to the pro football, because like in pro football, it's either you win your division or you win the wild card. It's not like you have to make a resume to this committee to let you in the playoffs.
You don't have to prove to somebody to let you in. There's strict guidelines. All right, if you win your division, whether you're 1-16 or you're 16-1, if that wins your division, you're in.
That's like
you can't make that argument
that's
about
like
the NFL.
The NFC South this year.
More than likely, it's going to be
it's
going to be a team that's under 500.
And let's just say, for example, the Cowboys don't win their division; they make a wild card spot.
They have to travel to an NFC South team,
exactly, which is stupid, and they're better than them.
Right.
But guess what? That's how the NFL playoffs are. That's how it's going to be next year with the 12-team playoff. But these Florida State fans, my God.
Yeah,
like,
I'm taking Georgia.
If you're just constantly complaining and moaning about it, and it's been, what,
you lost your sympathy.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, you've lost your sympathy.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Georgia in this one.
I'm going to take Georgia. I don't know if some players from Florida State are sitting out.
I know Jaheim Bell just entered the
draft.
The portal. I mean, not the portal, the draft. So he more than likely isn't going to play.
I saw this.
Wouldn't surprise me if he entered the portal though.
Florida State's backup running back was asking for around like $500,000 to stay, and one of their defensive linemen was requesting like $1 million in NIL. Hit the road, Jack.
Yeah.
No, I think Georgia wins this. I'm not going to say
Georgia's a 14-point favorite. These kids in the money these days, they're outrageous with it. I'm taking Georgia. I think it could end up. I mean, Georgia. If Georgia actually went out there and played like it meant something, they would probably rout Florida. Now, I just don't know. Yeah, Florida State. I just don't know how determined this Georgia team is going to be.
I think that's the one thing about Kirby Smart. He'll have his guys ready. I think
that he's pouted enough the last 2 weeks, and then now that it gets closer to the game time, he's going to have them ready because he's going to want to make a showing and say, "Hey, look,
Yeah.
y'all, everybody that made the argument for Florida State, look, we just beat them by 28, and nobody wanted to argue for us.
Yeah.
Our only loss was to the team that's in the playoffs in our conference championship game. This is why we should have been in. Y'all can argue for this team all you want to, but we just spanked them."
Yeah.
That's the kind of mindset that Kirby Smart usually takes in the games.
Yeah, he'll find anything to motivate his players.
Yeah, I mean, he's the same one who finds stuff at SEC Media Day, against
When Tonka Hemingway
what
said
South Carolina players say.
Georgia wasn't one of the toughest places he's ever played.
Right, he'll find something to hype his guys up.
Yeah.
I think that they've pouted long enough. Florida State's going to continue to pout, it seems like. And that's going to be to their
detriment. The fans are still
Yeah.
They'll still be tweeting at Kirk Herbstreit. And the thing is, like I said, if Florida State loses like everybody thinks they're going to, they just need to shut up about it now. Georgia, I can get their gripes, but again, at the end of the day, you lost in your conference championship.
Right.
I'm sorry, like every team that is in the top 4 are conference champions.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like you have to at least have a resume to pitch to these guys, and you can't,
Nobody would be mad at the Alabama-Georgia national championship game.
No, I think of the two teams that are complaining the most about not making it is the two teams that are playing each other. Georgia had the better case.
Yeah.
Even without winning their conference. What you're saying, I agree with. But to the two teams that are complaining about it, Georgia had the better case because they're obviously
the better team.
And they're obviously one of the. You could make the argument they're a top 4 team.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't be upset. I would still watch the game, but I want to see different matchups. Like I just don't want to see the same stuff. Now, if they're deserving to be in the spot, then there's nothing you can argue about that.
Right.
But these 4 teams are all deserving to be there.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's going to be any, at least on paper, a route.
Yeah.
Like, Georgia beating TCU in the championship game last year.
Is there any retribution for Florida State or Georgia in the long run, or they just got to eat it?
The only thing you can do is just make your case. Which if Florida State comes out and they just beat the dog mess out of Georgia, then they can look at everybody and say, "Look, you got it wrong. We were 13-0.
Yeah.
We were conference champions. We just took the team that was number 1 for the entire season up until their conference championship game, and then we just beat them by 14 or 17.
Yeah.
They could say that, and they could always have that as a prideful thing, but you ain't getting in. I mean, no, that's not going to happen is the thing.
The fact that those state legislators think something's going to happen.
That's stupid. That's petty. That's a waste of time and taxpayer dollars.
There's this big conspiracy theory against Georgia and Florida State. Get out of here with that crap, dude.
Nah. I'm taking Georgia, though, to win
Yeah, I am too.
handily.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this clip, you can watch full episodes on our YouTube page, or you can click the link here.
Or if you want to watch another clip, you can click the link here.